Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Dollys, and welcome back to Sky Factory 3. In the last episode, we were working on Draconic Evolution and the Fusion Crafting. So I'm making the last of the Wyvern tier that we're going to need for now. We'll probably end up upgrading the last one as well, the 8th one here. But for now, we're just going to make the 7 that we need. That's going to do its thing, and we'll get back to this in a little while. So between episodes, I didn't work on building much here, but I did work on building this guy up a bunch. So you can kind of see I've got, well, it doesn't look like much, but I have space for some windows. We're going to put some windows there. It's going to look nice. And I've got all of the nesting pins set up. There's no chickens currently being processed to 10 because, well, all of the ones that I had up here are already 10. And I've been working on trying to get everything kind of organized, how I want to put the chickens. These are the only 2 vanilla metals in the game that have chickens, so iron and gold are going to be the special ones, I guess. But like I've split things up into like natural stuff and what I call like gems. So you got your diamonds, your emeralds, prismarine, nether quartz, even coal and redstone will all go in this area. There's Ender IO stuff, and then all the mob type ones. And then up here is going to be all of the different colors as well as Tinker's metals. So I've tried to split them up in a way that makes sense. Some way where they're going to be somewhat organized. Not that it really matters much. I mean, we could put them wherever we want, but this way it kind of has some sense to it. But as you can see, I've gone ahead and put in all of the conduit facades down here. Both sides go up right here to their respective like upper floor. So I'll have to finish the conduit facades up there. And then it also goes underneath to wrap around to these guys. And both sides, we have the feather storage, and then the quantum, the manure storage, and then I have a chest here that we're going to be using to import all of the goodies back to our system. Which, by the way, I went ahead and got rid of the ugly line out here, and just worked it up like so. Wasn't too bad to do. So yeah. Lots of things that I worked on, but not enough things to like really matter all that much in the grand scheme of things, to be honest. So let's replace this guy, and we'll upgrade the last ones later, because we've got to upgrade them all to the top tier anyways. So that'll be something. Actually, let's grab this again and put this in here. So last time we also looked at the phantom placers, which is going to be a really easy way to make the wither farm, which is not going to be up there. It's going to probably be downstairs over here. I think that's where I want to put it. I haven't really decided, to be perfectly honest, but I think that's where we're going to put it. And the big thing with that is just kind of, well, just trying to get things kind of organized and place where I want them. But the phantom placers will allow us to make the wither farm pretty easily, and we will be working towards that today. That's why we're upgrading all of this stuff, so that we can make a mob grinder, which insta kills the wither, which is really nice. But chickens, before we get to that, I want to talk about chickens a little bit more. So we have all of these 10. I'm going to be placing them in places that make sense and all that kind of stuff, but we need to hook them up to storage. I don't want to put these guys in the nesting pins where they're going to actually start producing stuff. And by the way, I'm going to probably take 1 or 2 of these guys and put them over here. And I've got a good strategy for making 10. The secret is you have a 10 to upgrade a like 111 to at least 999. I know, lots of numbers. And once you get 2 of those, you put them next to each other, and that's it. You'll get 10 pretty quickly usually. So that's a strategy that I've used, and I kill anything that's not a 10-10-10, and I want to keep an extra. So that's why we're going to have this area. I don't know how I want to set it up yet, because one of these chests will fit all the eggs that we need, but gold chests are literally one off. There's 82 eggs, gold chests hold 81 items. So I don't know how I want to do it yet, but I do want to store at least one of each of the eggs, 10-10-10. I kind of want to split it up, so I might put 2 chests in the corners, maybe gold or something, just to kind of split it up, kind of like I have it with the organization with the different metals, different types of metals, and the dye chickens, so like the lime and the lapis blue and the bone white. So that's probably gonna be the plan. But something that we need to deal with is these chickens are going to be producing 4 things. They're going to give their item, which we want to go into the iron chest, which is fine. That's perfect. They're going to be giving us chicken manure and feathers, which we have storage for, both of those as well. But they're also going to be giving us eggs, and that is an issue because we have to deal with that. I don't want eggs clogging up our system. So luckily, eggs all have the same ID number. So what we can do is we can filter them pretty easily. And it works for no matter what type. So this is a 223 that we just put through of an ender pearl, and a sand chicken egg is the filter. So this is the only filter we need. And we can prevent eggs from going into the system, which this iron chest is going to be just that. Now we're probably going to want to do something with these eggs, and let's see, the eggs we can, I have an idea. So these eggs, if we just take a random one, doesn't matter, they turn into Minecraft eggs, which is what I've been using for food for a long time, because it's so plentiful. But what we can do is get some sort of auto crafting. But will that work? That might not work the way I think it will. I don't know if these mechanical crafters, I don't know what these are. What? Can I use that for a tool station? What? That's so weird. Alright, anyways, like, I don't know if we can use these. Let's test it out a little bit. So we have a crafter. We have a couple crafters, so let's grab some different eggs. And I want to see... So we have the crafter tier 2. Which only has 4 recipes. I don't want to mess with that one. We have a crafter down here that's also tier 2. I don't think these will work. Because we need something that will or dictionary. And that's the problem. So I'll have to come up with some sort of solution for that. Otherwise, we could just void the eggs, but I don't really want to do that. Let's see if there's something with the chickens. Automatically collects items. Oh, hey. You know, I have not actually seen that. I know I have an XP chicken. I don't think I've ever seen the solid experience. Anyway, so we have to figure out some way to craft these. Let's see if there is some sort of... I don't think the Ender IO crafter is going to work. How bad would this be to make? A dropper we can do. That is easy enough. I've never used the mechanical crafter, so I don't know if this is going to be useful or not. We have grid power, so that's good. We don't have to worry about that at least. But always on. So if I put one of those in there, okay, this would work. All right, perfect. So that's what we can do. We can just run this through, put the eggs here, and then maybe we could set that up right over here, or we could also put them like here. We could put like 2, but I don't expect to get that many eggs that quickly. So I'll figure out where to put that, but that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use this crafter. That makes the most sense. It's just a matter of figuring out where to put it and hook it up. I mean, we could put it up here with the other eggs, but I don't want to risk my 10-10-10s at all. They're supposed to be safe. So we'll probably put it over here. And you know what we might do is put it like here, and then we'll take this guy, put it here. You don't see that, do you? Oh, it does. I hate that. I mean, I could put another one here, and then we could deal with things. And I think what we might do as well is something like this. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I don't know. I'll kind of mess around with it and figure out what I want to do with that, but you get the idea. So this is going to be how we deal with the chickens, the chicken eggs. So that's good. So I'm going to get stuff set up for this between episodes, and then I'm going to start working on building this guy up because we need to get this running as well. Now I had draconium being made, so we have a ton, and I mean an actual ton of draconium. So we have 2k draconic essence, so that is a lot of stacks of draconium. Okay, so it's 500. So if we want to make Awakened Draconium, we're gonna need draconium blocks, 6 draconic cores, and a heart. So we need 6 of these, and then we need 4 of these. So real quick, before we actually do this, I want to do one last thing. I got a conduit probe out, and I can't remember the why I changed mode. All right, so the reason I want this is because we are going to be, let's see, let's grab an item conduit. We're going to be taking this extract, always active, and that's it. And we're going to copy that, and you know, actually, because it's let's make it red, and the reason for that is just so that I can visually see that it changes. And so I get to do this to all 82 of these guys, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, one other thing, you know what? I know what I'm going to put on the other side. So we're going to have a mechanical crafter here. We're going to have an input chest here. So if I have any extra items, I can just input them here, and they'll be put into the system. So for example, like this stuff, or even better, this stuff, I can do that. So yeah, the conduit probe makes doing a lot of changes to Ender.io very easy. So that's what I'm going to do as well. I'm going to go ahead and keep this over here. We have a couple conduit probes. I think we're getting from the loot bags, so it's kind of nice. Anyways, enough of chickens. So today, what I want to work on, I know, like halfway through the episode, we're going to make our first little bit of Awakened Draconium. So we need to put down all this stuff, and it has to go on the wyvern tiers. And this is going to use a ton of power, but that's okay, So let's start that. It's going to take a little bit of time. And it's going to absolutely drain our power. Because this guy takes 350 million RF. We have 450 million storage. So we're going to have a little bit left by the time we're done with this, but it's not going to be much. So while this is working, let's go back to chickens. Actually, there's one thing I forgot that I want to do, and that is we need to make an importer. So let's make that. And that shouldn't take too long. Now, with Awakened Draconium, we're going to be able to do a bunch of things. So we're going to get, 36 Awakened Draconium for this one Dragon Heart. Now, we are going to need a couple of things. So, first of all, we are going to need, eventually, to kill the dragon again. So we're going to need, what is it called? Ender crystals. Or End crystals? End crystal. Now this recipe is slightly tweaked. It requires a nether star. Nothing too bad though. So this is how we can respawn the dragon. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Draconic Tablet. Can we get the Draconic Tablet? We don't have that yet. Let's see. Should be easy enough to make one of those. At least I don't think we have one. We might have one lying around. I really need to reorganize all of our stuff. So if we look at the Draconic Tablet, assuming... Okay, cool. Will be removed in the next... Oh. Interesting. So Awakened Draconium requires Dragon Hearts. So yeah, I think the only way we really need to... we're going to need to kill the dragon some more, and that means End Crystals. I don't think there's any other changes that Draconic Evolution does. This does take a while until we can get more energy throughput, but that's okay. But yeah, so we're going to have to kill the dragon at least one more time, especially if we want to do some more fun stuff. So what all can we use Awakened Draconium for? Well, we can make a bunch of things, including Awakened Cores, which are useful for some stuff. We're eventually going to need to get the... what is it called? It's just Draconic... the Draconic Armor. And this stuff is fairly expensive. It requires, you know, a lot of Awakened Draconium, not surprisingly. The Wyvern is actually pretty good as well, but it's going to take some stuff take some time to make as well, just because we're going to need a lot of Awakened Draconium. Long story short, we need to kill the dragon a lot. That's not a big deal, but one of the quests / achievements is for us to, let's see, let's go through what we have left to do. Alright, so Wood Age we're completely done with. Stone Age we're completely done with. Farming Age we're done with. I have a cow in a bottle, in a jar. No, I guess I do. Alright, we need to make growth crystals. We'll do that later. Once we set up a standard type of farm, which is going to be this area, we're going to hook up an Ender IO farm thing, and we'll just have some, we'll have some cool stuff. This was early game farms, didn't really end up using it all that much, but that's okay. But yeah, we're going to have a nice big farm with a bunch of crops and whatnot. We'll worry about that later though. Age of Exploration, using Angel Block, don't really care about that right now. We'll do that much later. Travel to the bottom of the nether with a boat, we'll do that later. Blaze spawners, we don't have a use for those right now, so we'll do that later. Same with the dragon egg. So automating crop harvest, that is something we're going to do later once we need once we get the 20 different stuff. We haven't worked with extreme reactors, or as I'm probably going to end up calling it most of the time, big reactors. We've done a lot of the work with the lightning rod. We need just more stuff. We need more nether stars, which got us on this. But you kind of get the idea. So one of the big things that we're going to need to do, other than draconic tools, resurrecting a dragon, we're going to want trauma dislocation. We're going to need to build the energy core. That is probably going to be our main source of power storage later. And then one other thing, we need to make a dimension with Ender Dragon. So we're going to need to respawn the dragon. And we're going to need to make dimensions with it. So in order to do that, we're going to need a syringe. Just kind of talking ahead. This is really easy to make, but we need to respawn the dragon, and then we go and hit the dragon with the syringe. We get its blood, and then we can turn that into a dimlet. So that's kind of where we're at. We're going to be doing dimlet work. This is like almost done. Cool. So the dimension builder requires Awakened Draconium. What else requires this? The mob grinder, the terrain scanner. Why would you make Awakened Draconic signs? That seems silly. We're gonna want the Charm of Dislocation one of these days. Where is it? There we go. Advanced Dislocator. I guess it's just called Dislocator now. So these are actually not that bad to make. So we might want to make one of those relatively soon before we start dimension hopping. But in order to dimension hop, we're going to need some interesting things. So dimlets in this are not made like normal. So we've kind of looked at this, but not really. I wish, can I organize these? No. I'd have to manually. So 1, 2, 3, there's a 0 and a 5. So what we can do is we put stuff in here, extract things, whatnot, and the way we get this stuff is through the dimlet parcels, which if we right click these, we get a noise and we get a bunch of stuff, right? Kind of cool. So we can store all this stuff in here. And I'll probably go through and kind of organize some stuff. I wish this had a sort function. But if we want to make something, let's say, unfortunately, all of these I don't think we can make. Because they require absorbers of different types. So there's a lot of things. Why were those different colors? That's interesting. Hey, there it goes. I can hear the blood magic corrupt. I don't know what that is. I wish I could like scroll, but I can't. So for example, if we want to make a... Oh wow, there's Draconic Evolution stuff. I don't even know what half of this is. There's grooves. So if we want to make, for example, a dragon, Ender Dragon, we need all that stuff. So we'll need one of the advanced memories, advanced powers, a rarity 6 dimlet thing. There's a lot of things we'll need. So what we're going to want to do is open all of these dimlet parcels. Also get some Awakened Draconium. Is that a thing? No. Alright, and basically it's just a lot of like, we need to get a bunch of these dimlet parts in order to make the dimlets. But the other thing that you need is absorbers. Biomes require biome absorbers, materials require material absorbers, liquids require liquid absorbers, and so on. Mobs require syringes. I don't know if there's... Effects don't require... Currently not craftable. Not entirely sure why. Time stuff requires time absorbers. I don't know what that is. Feature? Feature absorber? Place this block in an area and it will gradually absorb the essence of a random feature of this dimension. Huh. So yeah, there's a lot of really complicated things that we can do to make our own dimensions. So one of the things that we're going to end up doing at some point is we are going to be making a liquid absorber. One of our quests is okay, Draconic. One of our requests is to use the absorber to create a custom liquid or block dimension, which we will do, and create a dimension of rarity 4 or higher consisting of large liquid orbs. So in order to do that, what we're going to actually use is life essence, because that makes a lot of sense. If we can harvest life essence from another world, we can use that in our blood altar and never, ever, 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 ever have to actually sacrifice any more blood, whether from mobs or ourselves. And kind of the idea with that is we are going to need to have quite a bit of blood to begin with. So do I have a bucket on me? I don't. But then we can store it in like our refined storage and go from there type of things, and like you know, just kind of make whatever we want. So I just kind of want to show off this for a moment. We're gonna, our thing is already glowing. Let's take that. Can we get some more blood? More life essence is going to be more better. And we can come down here. Grab more things if we wanted to. Not that it matters, but anyways, we can. You can see we can get plenty of blood like this, and then we're gonna make a liquid absorber. And this is the part where it's gonna be kind of awful for a while, and the reason being is, well, it's gonna take a good bit of blood, life essence, before we can actually do anything with this. And we'll have to set things up because there are limitations on how fast we can pump things into this guy and whatnot, but you kind of get the idea. So let's make a liquid absorber. We're also going to make the other two things that I want. So let's grab this. That should be enough. So if we want to make the dimension builder, we're going to need 2 machine frames. 1, 2. So we're going to make the liquid absorber first. There we go. And then we're going to make the dimension builder. And then we're going to make the mob grinder. Now to make the mob grinder, we are going to need 3 diamond swords. We're going to need a wyvern core and a generator. So furnace. Nether bricks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just pop downstairs. Put those in there. That'll cook up pretty quickly. We're going to need a draconic core and a wyvern core. Let's make the wyvern core first. And then the draconic core. Alright, so there's the generator and the mob grinder. Perfect. So, put that in there. We'll deal with that later. The dimension builder, we can go ahead and at the very least place it down. So now we can make dimensions. It's really nice. So if we want to absorb liquids, let's pop down here for a second. And just do something like this. So we put the blood down. And I don't know how much this is going to take, but this is where it gets kind of bad. Also, what happens if we walk in this? We get water breathing. Interesting. So then we can put the liquid absorber above it, and it will absorb it. And that's 3%. Oh, man. So that's going to take a while. That's going to take quite a bit of blood. But that's okay. We'll get more and more and more and go from there. So obviously it's going to require a lot of liquid. We'll set up something for the blood so we can get plenty of it fairly quickly. Later, that's not really that big of a deal. So what else do we want to do today? We could make our first dimension if we wanted to. Let's see. Let's get energy conduits. Let's break that and do this. So only certain things require power. And this is going to be ugly, but we're just going to run this up the side like so. So now we have a dialing device. We can go to other things, or a matter transmitter. We can build dimensions. We can inscribe dimensions. So in order to do that, we need an empty dimension tab. Cool. So we got all that. Empty dimension tab. We can make a random one, or we can make a how are we almost okay? I don't think we're out of redstone in the slightest, but we don't have much that's not, you know, block form. So we have an empty dimension tab. I do believe you can just put this in here and call it random 1 store, and it makes it just a random dimension. It's actually pretty cheap. We can put it in there, and you know what? Let's go to a different world. So this is going to be using 15 RF per tick to maintain, so it's incredibly cheap. It is going to be using a lot of power because this guy has a huge buffer. It's what, 10 million? So let's get rid of a little bit of stuff. We don't need this right now. To keep our bow out, because these dimensions can be somewhat bad. We've chunk loaded our entire base, so that's good. So let's go ahead and make a dislocator. So these things are relatively cheap, and we're gonna get 2 more draconium. We just need to grind it up. Can we crush it? Yes, we can. Alright, so 1 and 2. So I'll need to probably do more of that later, but anyways, we'll get a dislocator. So this is not too bad, but it only works once, and I think you drop it if you use it and like you don't have it on a pedestal. It's not necessarily really good, but it's useful. It has its uses. But we can also upgrade it to a advanced dislocator, which is a much better thing. So we have 3 ender pearls, a wyvern core, and 4 draconium. So let's get a wyvern core. Should not be bad. I think that's our last nether star. So next time we're going to set up the wither farm. We're going to need 4 draconium. And we're going to need a ton of ender pearls. Alright, so I want to make sure that this is wyvern tier. That is... Ooh, but that requires 8. Ah, we only have 7. So if we need to make another wyvern tier. One of these guys. So we're going to need 4 diamonds, 2 draconic cores, 1 wyvern core. So can we get a wyvern core? Okay, we can. 2 of those. Diamonds. We're actually running low on diamonds. We need to finish our essence farm as well. There's a lot of things we need to do. And then we're gonna need was it a draconium block? Yes. So let's just get rid of that. Make a draconium block. Alright. So we can come down here. No, actually we need to grab this guy. Because we need 8 of these to be upgraded. So we'll put 2 there. Put you there. You. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then... Right, perfect. So that should not take long. How expensive is this energy? 8 million. The advanced this locator is well worth it. So that's not a problem. It's just, do we have the power? Let's go sleep. And that will give us more power. Alright, so we're doing all of this stuff to just make things a little bit easier. The advanced dislocator is going to allow us to teleport pretty much at will. And pretty much however we want. So we're going to need 3 of these. So let's break this guy. We'll get this all upgraded later. I'm not too worried about that right now. And then 4 of these. And the reason I have so much ender pearls on me will become apparent soon enough. So let's go ahead and start that. While that is working, we're going to go ahead and put this away up here. Make sure we have... Let's see, we can put this stuff away. Okay. That looks fine. Don't we have infinity on this? Yes. Perfect. So it's almost done. And there is the advanced dislocator. Perfect. So shift right click and we can see everything. We need to add fuel. Fuel is... can't I shift click? Yeah. Fuel is ender pearls. So the more ender pearls we have, the more fuel we have, which means we can teleport more. So let's put our first teleport here. It does remember the direction you're facing. So we're going to add new home, commit. And we're going to lock that so that we can't delete it or anything. So now if we're over here, we right click and we teleport immediately back. So that's what we want. Is there any add fuel? Perfect. Is there anything else we have on us that I don't want to lose? I don't think so. So we should be okay, hopefully, to go ahead and throw this guy in here. He's going to be super powerful. And then what we can do is we can actually dial it. So whenever a dimension is made, there is a matter receiver on the other side. One of these guys. And I don't even know why I have that, to be honest. But this receiver we can dial once, and we can get back home easily. We don't have to set up any other power or another dialing device on the other side, and we can go into another dimension. So, you know what? For the end of this episode, let's go do that. Like I said, we're gonna be doing working on like Nether Star stuff and farms and all that kind of stuff next time. But this world is Well, pretty much empty. So if we're gonna want to make any sort of... Alright, are all of these worlds gonna be empty? I hope not. Because that means that we're gonna have to really do some weird things. But I have a feeling they are. I just want to see. We're gonna explore a little bit. We're just gonna head directly south. I want to see if there is any sort of like how do I want to say this? Any sort of I don't know. There used to be these buildings. I don't know what to consider them. Dimensional buildings. But they don't seem to exist in this one. So I would have seen one by now. I'm sure of it. So yeah, this is just a completely empty dimension. Completely useless to us. So that's disappointing. So if we want to do all this stuff, we're gonna have to do some interesting things. We're gonna need to make some dimlets. And we're probably gonna want a chest of some sort to store these guys over there. So I will kind of look into kind of what we're gonna want to do with all this stuff, but for now, let's just leave it off there. So between episodes, I'm gonna work on the Wither Farm, kind of building the area for it. We'll make the glass and all that kind of stuff later, as in next episode, and then I'm also gonna work on chickens. Now that I can get all of these conduits set up with the mechanical crafter giving us the eggs, we should be able to handle everything. So that's the idea. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!